Do you know how long I've been looking for you?
Welcome back to Master the Fun and Elder Scrolls Online. Today I have a clip of the ESO live stream that happened a few days ago where the devs talked about the new Greymoor chapter, specifically the Antiquities skill line with Scrying and Excavation. They gave an in-depth tutorial as far as how it all works. So I basically cut out all the fluff and gave a succinct version of this. I edited it down to that at least. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll let the devs take it from here. Thanks for coming and see y'all again soon. Cheers.
Do you want to start off by talking about what leads are?
Absolutely. So you can't generally just scry for every antiquity under the sun right out. You need some notion of it existing. You need some kind of hint, like as your character, to understand that this thing exists and you want to go chase after it. And that's what a lead represents. So you can't scry for an antiquity unless you have a lead, with the exception of a couple of simple sellables that every zone has available to you flat out. So to get those leads, you might have to go defeat bosses or search under bridges or dig in treasure chests. They're all over the world. We've got hundreds of antiquities, so there's hundreds of leads out there to get found, and they are like every single possible sourcing method we could think of is being used for this.
Nice.
So go turn over some rocks. You might find a lead.
There you go. You heard it here first. All right. So once, go ahead, Jess. Michael, did you want to talk through the skills that you get from excavation and scrying?
So you unlock both of these new skill lines when you first unlock the system by talking to Verita Numida. Excavation is for when you're actually digging the antiquity out of the ground. And this includes the basic tools that you'll use when you're actually doing this excavation. So like you use hand brush to slowly remove the dirt that might be over the antiquity or any of the bonus loot that's buried nearby. Augur is you using the Antiquarian's Eye, which is the new object that you obtain in game, to pinpoint the location of the antiquity within the dig site. Trowel is used to dig down deeply in a single cell, and the heavy shovel is used to dig out a wide area of dirt. And both of those you have to use the hand brush to kind of get revved up before you can just use those willy-nilly. You can also unlock Keen Eye for dig sites to make those pop out a little bit more easily. And I think the most widely applicable one, and something that we've long wanted to include in the game, is Keen Eye for treasure chests. As somebody who runs dungeons occasionally and wants to get all the treasure chests, but they're often in some dark corner where you can't even see them, I'm really looking forward to grinding this skill line up and getting that unlocked.
I can vouch that the team has discussed finding a way to get this into the game for quite some time.
That's awesome.
Every couple of months, it's like, how do we get that in there? Because I want it. And we finally did. And then scrying is what you use to first locate the dig site. Because antiquities are buried hither and yon, you don't know exactly where, and the locations are randomized and instanced. So if you're looking for an antiquity and your buddy's looking for an antiquity, you're not going to impact each other's progress. You're not going to use up the dirt mound before your friend can get there. But also you might be sent in totally different directions. So there's no one location for any antiquity. Antiquarian Insight controls what difficulty of antiquity you can dig up. The more common things are easier, you unlock them earlier, and then the really cool stuff comes a little bit more towards the end. Let's see, Coalesce and Farsight and Dilation are the active abilities that you use while scrying. Coalesce lets you change the cells on the board to match other cells to make an easier time for yourself. Dilation lets you just expand your own area. And Farsight lets you cast a line straight out to really reach out and move towards the foci that you're going to be looking for. And all three of those abilities don't use up any of your limited turns while you're scrying. So they're also free turns on top of being more powerful than your normal scry action. And then the other passives there enable you to use those actives more frequently, or to just have more turns, or to basically have a free turn done for you at the start of scrying.
So, Mike, if you chose to not spend any points in this, could you still be effective at the higher difficulty leads, or should you at least put some points into it?
So you'll have to put some points into Antiquarian Insight to be able to even scry for and seek out those higher quality antiquities.
Gotcha.
But beyond that, if you were very, very good, maybe you might be able to get away with not spending many other skill points. But I would definitely recommend it. And certainly if you're having a harder time, practice a little bit more on those earlier green and blue antiquities, level up the skill line, spend some more skill points, and that might give you the edge that you need for some of those harder antiquities.
Yeah, this speaks to. Well, this speaks to what I was mentioning earlier as well, is that we wanted there to be some level of mastery that's rewarded, and where you actually can get better at it. And one of the benefits of that is, if you are getting very good at the game, you actually might not need to invest as many skill points in it in order to be able to do the more difficult scrying and excavating.
Now, that said, if you're looking for a mount, Antiquities does offer one.
Yes.
One of the hardest antiquities to obtain would be the Ebon Dwarven Wolf mount. I believe it's the first canine mount that we are offering as an in-game reward.
Now,
Yes,
you don't find like the entire mount through Antiquities,
No,
right? It's
it
little
is-
pieces of it, which sounds
Correct.
really gross, but
Well,
Well,
you do
it's a
find the
robot.
whole thing. You do find the whole thing through Antiquities. You just don't find it all at once.
Correct.
right.
So the individual fragments are scattered throughout the base game. All you need is Greymoor and the base game to be able to go find it. You don't need any of the other DLCs. And it comes in, I believe, 17 fragments. And it's not as gross as you might think because it's a robot. So some assembly required.
Okay,
That makes sense.
so you dig up like a foot and then
Yeah.
a head.
It's metal.
Yeah.
That's
You
one
put
way
some
to do
screws
it.
together, you look at some icons of confused people from Sweden, and you're good to go.
What?
All right.
IKEA instructions.
IKEA
Oh.
mounts, yes.
Got it. So, Mike, if you fail at scrying or digging, what happens?
So with scrying, it's actually very difficult to totally fail it. If you don't gather all of the foci on your scrying board, then you just have some false positive dig sites to go seek out. And those false positive dig sites will contain some basic steelies, the white treasures that you might find in somebody's dresser or cabinet. And then if you find those, it marks it off the map. You know it wasn't there, it's somewhere else. And you can also try to re-scry. So you can try to scry for that antiquity again. There's no material cost, there's no money cost. You can just decide to try again. And if you find more foci than you did previously, then it updates your score, gets rid of some of those fake dig sites. And if you find all the foci, then there are no fake dig sites. You know where it is. And then once you go there and start excavating, if you fail the excavation by breaking the antiquity or running out of time before you find it, that's not the end of the world either. But the antiquity will then be found in some other dirt mound somewhere in that same dig site. So you have to go look for the dirt mound again, but you're not at a loss for any materials or money, or just a little bit of time.
Okay, so the only thing you really lose is a little time if you want to practice.
Correct.
That's good.
It will re-randomize the puzzles every time you do a new scry or do a new excavation. So there's practice, but you're not going to be able to memorize exactly where it is. It'll reshuffle that.
Right, and so you won't be able to look up guides of like this particular puzzle since they're randomized.
Correct.
All right, so let's get into what Antiquities looks like and what scrying looks like specifically, because we know there's a lot of different steps to this. We want to be able to kind of show this off a little bit. So once I have a whole bunch of stuff that I can scry right now, again, because I'm using a template and everything is open. So your experience may or may not look like this once we go live.
Yeah, on live, you'll have to actually seek out all of these leads individually, except for that green Nord Scrimshaw. That's something that anybody who is standing in Western Skyrim can scry for any day of the week. So I don't know if you want to show off one of the absolute hardest puzzles or if you want to start with just an advanced level.
No, I want to do the most difficult one possible.
Then I would recommend the Al Esh Ascension coin.
Okay.
It's that first gold one on that list there.
So I'm going to play the role of player who hasn't done this before. And honestly, I've only done it a few times. So
Starting with the most difficult one.
we're starting with the most difficult one, because why not, right? So
Yep.
let's I'm going to help you guys out here because I see people in chat like, I don't really know what to do with this. Maybe you've taken a look and you feel a little overwhelmed. Maybe because you're doing the gold level one like I am.
Mhm.
So the goal is, I'm pointing at my screen here like you guys can see it, but see these little glowy circles here? Here, here, all around here. The goal is to basically unlock those. And that the more you unlock, the more your map will be pinpointed as to where you need to go, right?
The more
I guess.
symbols
Correct.
match.
It's not about matching symbols. It's about getting to
Oh.
those foci. The
Yeah, your
symbols
goal
are
is to
just
get
the
here.
terrain in between.
And every one of these is different. So it's not like, oh, once you figure it out on one, like, you know the solution. Like, you got to do a different one each time.
Correct.
So this thing down here is like your life meter, I guess, right?
Yeah,
How many
it's your
chances you
turn
have?
meter.
Yeah.
So you only have so many turns in which to gather the foci. And every time you click something with just the normal scry, that crystal will drain slightly.
And then up here, we have all these different, I don't know what you want to call these, skills, effects that you can use.
So there are 3 active skills. What is it? Coalesce, Dilation, and Farsight. And each one of those uses up a Magicka charge, which are the 3 gems up top.
Right.
They don't count as turns. They don't drain the crystal down below. They just use up those Magicka charges.
All right, so let's get started. So you start down here at the bottom, and you can see as you kind of hover over these symbols, it'll light up. And the goal is to make your way towards these little spinny things, right?
Yep.
I'm going to write a how-to guide on this, call them spinny things.
I'm okay with that.
So
I don't know if Don is, but I'm okay with it.
This is why we don't write our articles anymore. So I'm going to do this one first because it's at least getting me in a direction that I want to go in.
So you click that.
Maybe this one, right? Because this is getting me at least to the middle.
And as you can see, the crystal at the bottom has drained a tiny bit.
And here I am. I made it to right here.
Mm-hmm.
Got one.
So now if you click if you click that cell, foci are wildcards. They're automatically grabbed anytime you get to a cell that's adjacent to them. And now you've acquired one of the foci. So now you will be able to find the antiquity. It'll be on your map somewhere. But if you didn't gather any of the foci, you would have 5 other false positives to deal with. And that would be a lot of running around.
So every foci you find now is eliminating dig sites, potential dig sites, so that
Correct.
you know which one is correct.
So basically, I could go off into the map and try and look for it, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time going to a lot of different dig sites. So I would rather get to a few more of these so I don't have to do as much running. Because I am going to run off and try and find this thing. And we don't have that much time on the stream, so let's use one of these things. Right?
Because you're doing an ultimate difficulty puzzle, I would absolutely recommend using some of the active abilities here.
For sure. Which one should we try using? Let's do one
let's
of
go ahead and
each.
start with, let's do one of each. That sounds good. So you can turn on Coalesce by clicking it or by hitting 2 in this case because you're on the keyboard.
Oh, I got a snowflake.
It's lagging a little bit. And this is the upgraded form of Coalesce. When it's just at rank 1, it's just a hexagon rather than a snowflake. And if you click wherever, it'll change all of the cells that you're highlighting to match that center cell.
I see. So this one's a little star, and then everything will turn into a star. And this one with the dots, everything's going to turn into some dots.
Correct.
So
that seems like a good placement to me.
I'm going to do this one. There we go. So now I can click on this, and voila, got another one.
Oof. Yep. So now if you click any of those stars, like that's all one mass, and you gain another foci. And if you'll notice up top, the gem that you used in using Coalesce is now halfway charged. Every foci you gather recharges your Magicka charges by 1/2. So you don't just have 3 casts and then you're done. You have 3 plus whatever you recharge with.
And for anybody watching, this is the most difficult one.
Yes.
There is a tutorial
Yes.
that will kind of walk you through ramping difficulty. You don't start with this huge.
Yes. This is
Also, even though she also has all of the skill points invested, which
everything's
means
maxed.
even though this is the most difficult one, this is the easiest it can be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's use another skill. Let's do dilation.
All right.
Is this like when somebody pours something in your eyes and you can't see for about 2 hours?
Kind of, yeah. So when you use dilation, you'll hover over any cell that's adjacent to your owned area. and you'll actually gain all of the cells that match that type that are adjacent to your own area. So this is a great way to branch out in multiple directions.
And when you say your area, you're talking about like all these things I've already unlocked here.
Yes.
All that stuff.
Yep.
So let's try and make our way. Ooh, that unlocks a bunch. Trying to. That's the nice thing is you can hover over this stuff and it kind of gives you a preview of what you're about to do before you actually do it.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
I would recommend you use those abilities, Gina.
I'm going to. I'm going to do this one.
All right.
And I'm going to make my way over. Boop, boop. Got another one. And you can see this mirror down here is running out, so I don't want to waste a bunch of time clicking on a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Need to make it count. Farsight. Farsight is the last one.
It is, and I would argue it's the most potent. This lets you basically just immediately own a line of cells out from your own area. So when you use it, you click any cell that's adjacent to what you own right now, and then you pick a direction from that.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to do this right here. Boom.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I've got almost all of them. I only have 2 left. And I have
if you do that,
1 charge up here, so I can still use one of these if I want to.
Yep.
All right, so let's see.
So, Mike, what is the ultimate ideal goal when you're doing one of these? Is it to have just 1 left? Is it to have none left? Which sounds like it would be really hard.
You want to gather all of the foci.
Okay.
That would be the ideal end to a scrying game. So you want all 6 of these light up spaces that have the swirly bits around them to be the light up glowy stars.
Yeah.
So at this point, Gina's almost got it perfect, and she'll probably be able to finish this out because she's got all the
seems
skills.
like it.
Nailed it.
And the reason for that is if you do get all of the foci, it means there will be only 1 dig site shown on your map. So you will know exactly what area of the map you have to go to dig up the antiquity.
Mm-hmm. And in this case, there is 1 dig site to go find, and it's actually relatively close by. It totally randomizes within the zone. So it could have been off in the frozen wastes. It could have been off in the northern mountains. It just happens to be right next door.
Where am I blind? What am I looking for here?
So on the map, when it pulled it up, it would have shown, here's the map, and then
right here.
Highlighted.
Jeez.
It would have highlighted the little blue area.
Yes. Look for the blue, right?
Yes. Yep, there it is.
We're gonna go here.
Yep. So you hit E to continue, and then you're in your normal map. If you had way shrines nearby, you would be able to just jump straight there.
Hey, Mike.
In this case, you're going to have to ride. Yeah?
Sorry, I saw a question in chat. Somebody asking, are you in a competition with other players to get to these dig sites?
You are not. Dig sites are instanced to you. So unlike treasure chests or resource nodes, if you and a buddy are both trying to dig up the same antiquity, you might go in different directions. And even if you end up at the exact same dig site, digging up the exact same location, your progress and their progress do not interfere with one another.
Although you will be able to see if another player is scrying or excavating.
Yes. But there's no competition involved with this.
Someone was asking if there are leads that take you into Cyrodiil.
We do not have any dig sites in Cyrodiil. We discussed doing that a lot, but in the end, we wanted to not impinge server stability or the PvP experience. So there are leads that you will have to earn from Cyrodiil that have lore related to Cyrodiil, but you will dig them up in other zones.
Yep. That includes the new siege weapons. You actually will dig the siege weapons up outside of Cyrodiil, but then use them inside of Cyrodiil.
Yes.
All right. I see something sparkly. Is that what I'm looking for?
Yes, but if we want to make sure, I want to highlight this.
Yes.
You can use the Antiquarian's Eye tool. Yes, that is the dig site. But back up from it for a little bit because I want to highlight this. If you use the Antiquarian's Eye tool from your collections menu, or if you quick slot it, it'll display a glowy orb effect, and that orb is pointing you towards the location of the dirt. So,
it looks like it's censoring something. That was amazing.
It's
that was funny.
Very aware of naked people nearby.
Yes.
But yeah, that glowing orb, and we are working on beefing up that effect a little bit. But it is a little comet that's pointing you towards the location of the dirt mountain.
Sweet.
I saw some questions in chat about mythic items, and we are going to talk about those
Yes.
After this segment. So just
Yep.
hold on to your questions.
Yeah, mythic items are a super exciting new thing that you can dig up with the antiquity system. After we're done here, I'm going to stick around and watch Nadav talk about mythic items. That's how cool they are.
All right, so I've only done this a couple times, so walk me through excavation.
So excavation is you've arrived at the location, the antiquity is here in the dirt somewhere, but you have to dig it up without breaking it. And there might be bonus loot around as well. So this is one of the harder difficulties, but this is the hardest difficulty of dig, actually.
That's how we do it.
Yep. So to start off with, you use the antiquarian's eye to augur for the location of the antiquity. At its highest rank, you can only go through 2 full layers of dirt. So that top lightest layer of dirt, you're not going to be able to augur through, but you could augur through some of the moderately dark layers in the middle there. And when you do that, it'll shine a square light on that area of different color and intensity to indicate how close that spot is to the location of the antiquity.
Okay. So I'm orange.
So orange is relatively far away.
Oh, well, there you go. Let's go over here. I'm still orange. I'm not doing very well with this, huh? So I see there's bars at the top here.
Yep. So the 2 bars are how much time is left in the day, how many turns there are left in the minigame. And then the second bar, the red one, is the antiquity's durability. If you dig too greedily for the antiquity, or if you blow it up by using the fissures that are at the dig site, that will break it entirely. You don't lose out permanently, but you will have to find the antiquity again at another dig site within that map area.
So I just got red. Is red even worse than orange?
Red is even worse.
Wow.
It's a dimmer light. It's further away.
I am killing it here. All right, let's go up here. Red again. Man, I am just sucking this up.
This reminds me a little bit
green.
of
We've got a green.
So green is the antiquity is absolutely under this cell.
Sweet.
Antiquities are larger than 1 by 1, so you won't dig it up entirely by digging down there, but you'll get a good start on it. To start digging, you're going to have to use the hand brush, which is the W key, the tool in the upper left here right now. And we will be shuffling these locations around a little bit. We're going to be moving the intuition bar out of the middle of the dig site. It's not meant to be in the middle. Those are changes coming in either the next PTS or the one after. I'd have to pull up the bug number to see exactly when.
Michael, I saw a great question in chat. What about for folks who are colorblind? And it looks like there's actually little symbols kind of around these things, or little effects that you can see.
Yeah, so we also have different intensity of light. I don't know if you can tell, but the red lights are a much thinner, fainter kind of light, and the green one is pulsing. It's got that circular glow around it too. It's swirling. So we are trying to highlight them as much as possible for people who cannot see color as well.
All right, so let's go with the hand brush here.
So as you use the hand brush, you'll notice that the intuition bar that's currently in the middle will start to fill up. And you'll also start removing the dirt and the rocks that are between you and the bottom of the dig site. So go ahead and keep digging down. You can just keep using the hand brush until you get down.
Oh, good thing happened. I see something.
So, yeah, that's the next layer of dirt, and then sparkle. So it's hard to see exactly what corner or edge of the antiquities encasement that might be. Antiquities are all within boxes or crates or treasure chests, and they all have distinct shapes. But now that you've filled up the intuition bar, you can start using the other 2 tools.
Yes, bigger tools.
And the heavy shovel. So go ahead and choose one of those.
I'm going to do a heavy shovel because I just want to make a big mess here.
So the heavy shovel digs up a contiguous area within a 3x3 that is all of the same elevation based on whatever the center of your highlight is.
Got it.
So like the cell that you've got there right now, it would only dig up that cell because that's the only contiguous thing there.
I see.
But,
all right, well then let's
go a little bit to the left of it,
yeah, let's try this one.
Yeah. So yeah, if you do those 3 rocks around, yep, those ones, hit that.
Yep.
And it just removes a whole bunch of dirt all at once. And because you've got the heavy shovel upgraded, it has a chance to not expend intuition, so you can use it again.
Nice.
Hey, where'd my thing go? There's a bunch of naked people dancing.
Of course there is.
Did you hit Alt or Escape, or did somebody aggro you or anything?
Maybe somebody.
Oh, no, you know what happened? You broke the antiquity.
Oh, what? That's some
you
crap.
dug too greedily and too deep. So
you got too fierce with that heavy shovel there, Gina.
So now you're going to have to go find it somewhere else in this dig site.
Oh.
Wow. Well,
so
rip.
if you break an antiquity while digging, that item is not lost to you forever. Then you just have to go find it again. Do you have to find another dig site? Do you have to rescry it?
You do not have to rescry it. That progress is saved, and the item is not lost permanently. There is no permanent loss in antiquities, but you will have to find the dig location somewhere within the dig site again. So it's within the same map block. You know the general area. It's just not at that same spot you were standing. So this would be a good time to break out the Antiquarian's Eye and use that to try to locate what direction it might be in.
Okay,
good to know.
A dig site is an entire zone?
It's that location within the map. So we call them internally map blobs.
Okay, yep.
Cool.
I know what you're talking about. Sort of a region within a map.
Yes.
So we have some other questions, if we have time for them, that I kind of grabbed from chat. So as far as the skills for scrying and digging, how do you level those? Can you, or do you just put points into them?
You can absolutely level them. There are two ways to go about leveling the skills in scrying and excavation. The first is by excavating antiquities. Every time you unearth an antiquity, you'll get some EXP towards both scrying and excavation. And that's based on the quality of the antiquity that you dig up. So the rarer the antiquity, the more EXP you get for digging it up. And then also the achievements for the system. Whenever you complete an achievement, you'll earn that achievement's achievement point value in EXP towards one of the skills. So if you do a scrying achievement and it's worth 10 achievement points, it's also worth 10 XP towards scrying.
Okay. And is the quality of leads you find related to the level of your scrying or antiquity? So, like, can you find a mythic lead before you have fully leveled your skill lines?
You could find a mythic lead before you even unlock the skill lines.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you just hold on to them then?
Yep. So antiquities only last, or I'm sorry, not antiquities. Leads only last a certain amount of time. They last about 30 days. And we only display the timer. They are not tradable. Leads are not items. They go straight into your journal. And we did that because we didn't want to add to people's inventory woes.
Okay.
Yeah, I just saw somebody asking if leads take inventory space.
So
yeah. And what about the pet? Not the pet. The mount fragments. Are those? Do they go into your collection? Do they go into your inventory? Do you know?
They also go straight into your journal. So again, we didn't want to add a whole lot of other stuff to carry in your inventory. So they just go in your journal. And that's also where you can look up the lore for them. As you excavate antiquities, every time you do, you'll get a little more of a lore snippet from the Antiquarian Circle. So they might have competing ideas. They might have alternate theories. And it's kind of up to you as the scholar with their hands in the dirt to decide for yourself what theories you think may or may not be true. Because nobody knows for certain. That's how lore in Tamriel is.
Cool. Can you abandon leads?
You can abandon antiquities that are in progress. For example, if you were an ESO Plus subscriber and you ended your subscription for whatever reason, and you had an antiquity that was in progress for a zone you can no longer go to, you could abandon that antiquity in progress. You can't abandon leads, but there's no real reason to do so. They don't take up any space. You can have all the leads in the game all at once, if you can find them.
If you can find them, that's the key.
If you can find them.